Joe Ragona from engagedinvestor.ca, and my friend Shay Bynes from goodfaithinvesting.com has asked me to share some insight and recommend strategies on holding properties that are outside your local area. So the main concern would be, are your properties being maintained and serviced at your level, what you expect them to be? Is your team actually doing the work? So what I recommend is to buy properties that are within 1 hour radius, driving radius of where you live, and that allows you to get back and forth to those properties relatively quickly, because my first point would be that you should maintain and service those properties yourself for the first 1 or 2 properties, and that allows you to do one of 2 things. One, it allows you to understand what the process is throughout that tenancy, what type of tenant calls are coming in, what needs to be serviced, and it allows you to build up a system and a checklist procedure that when you physically go into the property, what needs to be checked, how long that actually takes, and that can be passed off onto the property manager when you do hire them. So now you have this procedure and this checklist that the property manager is going to follow. And when they do that, when they physically go into the property, whether it's on a quarterly basis or maybe it's on a semi-annual basis, it really doesn't matter. And what I do is have the tenant initial that paperwork once they're finished. Because the checklist is a very short checklist. It may be 1 or 2 pages long, and it takes 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't bother the tenant at all. Which brings me to my third point. And that would be to have open communication with your tenant. It's very important that that happens, because if you're an absentee landlord and you have no idea who is in the property and you don't have that communication between the both of you, you may have issues getting into the property to do that quarterly inspection, and it might be a little bit difficult for you. So with that open communication, what that does is it allows you to use the tenant to also verify that your property management team has gone in and done the work. Because not only are they initialing the paperwork, but now you can give them a quick phone call or send off an email and ask them how the whole procedure went. If there was anything that they didn't like, if there is any disrespect to them. Even when a service person goes into the property, I always ask them how that service person was, because they are an extension of me, and that's very important that the tenants have that respect, the same way I would give them the respect if I was personally there. So there's a few tips on holding properties outside your local area, and I hope you do it, because it's one of the best ways of investing in property if your area is a little bit challenged for cash flow.